Okay, welcome back to the most unprepared live stream, weekly live streams on YouTube. Good God. What's going on? What's up, Billy? Ground Pounder, how are you? So, I need to at some point sharpen some of that. Well, I need to sharpen the whole thing, but I used it to mill a log out in my front yard. What's up, William? How are you? How's everybody's week been? Fixing to make a road trip, really? Right on. Let's see. Let's start it out with something good. Lots of good stuff coming out the past week or so on YouTube. There's just so many guys that are good. So like, even those guys that were really good back in the day, that like they were really good, but they didn't like social media. Those guys have moved to social media, and they've started their own YouTube channels, and now it's wild how much tree content there is out there, or just simply chainsaw content. It's, let's say it's incredibly saturated. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, it's so hard to even keep up with everything, and I'm sure I miss things. So if you guys can tag me and stuff, if you see something crazy, then we can kind of use it and discuss on this. But yeah, I missed some stuff this week. So what I'm gonna do is channels to check out are like Tree Climber Harry, Meta Spencer, Veterans Tree Service, my guy Brandon Rusty's Tree Care, Ground Pounder, Chris Liggett the Tree Fella, Peter Shea, J306, and most of them don't need my help. If Greg Brown, also, that's a guy that makes a lot of the stuff that I use. He has his own channel. Doesn't post all the time. I wish he would post more, but he's just so mechanically inclined, and I feel like the guy can make anything. He's that good. So yeah, so check out those channels. J306, not only does he do, that's Jay, not only does he do tree work, he does a lot of stuff, like a lot of car stuff, like antique hot rods and stuff like that. Really good time. What's up, Chris? How are you? So yeah, go check out all them channels. I figured this time I would put it more towards the beginning. Let's see if there were some other ones that I used to bring up a little more. Oh, Seattle Tree Care. That's, if you guys like big operations, that is a fun channel to watch. Every now and then he works with Guilty of Treason, so there's kind of some crossover there with him sometimes. And if you want to know a wizard when it comes to SRT and rigging, look up Giorgio Fiori. That's Giorio, and then Fiori is Fiori, and He's like, he is literally levels above. Like, I learned so much from the guy as I was kind of coming up. Like, things that I came up with, a lot of influence had come from his things that he had done. So, like the hand descender idea, it was something in my brain for quite a while, but it was missing something. It needed to be simplified, and there was too much like stuff that had to happen to get it to stand. And I watched him hook one up on his pad and use like a little hook, and he set it up like that, the pad of the spike, and I was like, that's it, that's it. So I had to find the right, bungee, but yeah, Giorgio Fiore is such a good channel. So if you guys are looking for like good SRT, he'll teach you redirects. He's got his own rigging ring. Like, he's amazing. So that's a guy that you could, if you're looking to learn some stuff. Oh, and another one that I didn't name off is Dano's Tree Works. Dano killer videos. Dude, some of the stuff you've been into lately, brother, is wild. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on a few comments here, and I'm not the best reader. So, okay, so you would say that right there I was nice, right? I should put. I'm trying to think of what episode this is, and I should put it on the piece of paper here. That way, I know I can just flip back and be like, "This is episode blah blah blah," and yeah. Oh, my pleasure, Dana. If you didn't earn it, brother, I wouldn't shout it from the rooftops so much. But Dano does some wild stuff, and his channel should be 10 times the size it is at least. But yeah, some of us just have the slow boil, brother. I think you're in my route. So. Oh shoot, hang on. Let me see here. I missed. Did I miss something? Who got yanked? Oh, I didn't even get to see his knucklehead comment. Was it something crazy? That's kind of funny. Little Chris was kind of funny on the first one. I don't know. Did he get worse? Yeah, I'm not good at YouTube either, brother. But it is what it is. Missed this here, but anyway, okay, cool. Well, I mean, if you're looking for a bunch of work, I just hate that stuff. Like, I've never had a good time doing storm work. It's always kind of a bit heart wrenching for me, and like, I hate it. But yeah, our guy BR was in here and during the last live feed, and he was all about it. He was ready to go volunteer for like days and just work for free. So there are people out there that are getting it done, and that's some tough work when you start to deal with storm damage. All the things you learned while climbing and doing trees up there, most of it doesn't cross reference when you start to get into stuff like that. I remember one time I had to cut up a bunch of trees and process a bunch of trees after dozers pulled them over and pushed them over, and that was some of the scariest, like, sketchy stuff, because they were massive trees. They would roll, and like, they would have the root wad totally ripped up, so it was not connected, and it was rough. I guess they logged it or something, but yeah, I processed it up and ended up putting like a big solar field or something in. So. Damn, William got yanked. That's no good, dude. Oh, was it with a stump grinder? No. Well, hey Mo, what's up? Damn, near died today. I have the food. I'll post it. Dude, you're right on. Well, it's just good you're good. That's, dude. I I never the camera's never rolling during those accidents, which I would probably watch it like ridiculously, trying to pick apart what I could have done. So I'm kind of almost glad that I've not had that stuff. But I mean, I've had some of it, but the major ones, no. All the way from Germany. That's wild, Mo. That's wild. Um, so let's start with. I mean, I don't want to be too mean, but no, let's start kind of good here. Meta Spencer. So Spencer ended up what? Oh yeah, he ended up doing this big, um, a bunch of trees. Like they were right up on this cabin out on the lake, and in that video, he used that what is it? The downrigger from Rock Exotica. Yeah, he ended up using that, and I've seen August use that before, but I don't think he really cared for it. Spencer seemed to like it, and it seemed to work really good for him. Where he would need to like take wraps on a stub or something, that eliminates the need for like a bollard or friction on his system because he works that endless loop system, so he can rig branches down and disconnect them himself from up in the tree. So it worked really good for him. I think the only issue is like it needed to be pretty heavy for it to work good though. So that's the thing with it being hard to beat like a porter wrap or taking wraps on something because to get the right amount of friction, there's either too much or not enough. And like to find that sweet spot, you need a lot of adjustability in between so that you can dial that in from piece to piece. And a lot of things don't have that, like, say the even the safe block. That ends up you put three loops on it. You go through all three holes on the safe block, but by the time you get extended out and you're trying to pull the rope back to get it back and reconnect it, there's a ton of friction. It's too much for you to even pull. So I don't know. It's a lot of times you need to have it close to you. I was 70 foot up in a stand pine that had started to uproot. Right before I took the top, it started going down a bit. Everyone saw it and died inside for me. I quickly sent the top and it came up. Whew. Damn, dude. Yeah, that like that Hail Mary cut is always it's like gut wrenching sometimes. But dude, stoked that you were able to get through it, and plus having the footage now is a super bonus. You just wish you had a camera right there on the root system so you could show it, but that's wild, man. All right, what did I see this week on YouTube? Like I said, I'm gonna try to because so I feel like towards the end of my live feeds they get kind of mean, and they're like a little rougher than they should be. But what did I see? Guilty of treason. Also, oh, Meta Spencer. He used that rigging downrigger. He seemed to like it. Looked really good. He ended up having to trim everything. It was like over this cabin, so that the insurance wouldn't cancel the people. So showed some before and afters. So check his channel out. That's Meta Spencer. Meta Spencer. Spencer. Next would be I had a little bit of time. I caught Guilty of Treason's last video. Um, Dang it, man! I got behind on comments and it didn't fresh like feed, and now I'm way behind. But what's up, Jay? How are you, brother? Yeah, Guilty put out a video of this. I think it was a elm tree, maybe. It was a big multi-day tree that he was gonna have to do, and I hate to be that guy because I feel like here's where it's gonna start to get kind of mean, and then it's just gonna stay like that. And because I end up getting some joy out of kind of being a little a little crude, and after I'm in it, I'm in it. So I'm trying to be nice though. Well, let's see. Jake's Mark 7 chainsaw. Um, am I the only one? Okay, I get annoyed by the battery powered chainsaws. They're a bit annoying. The gear sound, it's a little aggravating to listen to. And motorized chainsaws, I usually never have an issue unless sometimes it's a bit cringy to me when I hear one that's like not got enough power and it's like fighting to get through the wood. But I just Jake Saw gets on my nerves. It's annoying. Like it sounds whiskey throttled at all times, and like it's a ripper of a saw. But I think it's the Husqvarna Mark 5, Mark 7, maybe. Um, yeah, I can't either, Anthony. It wrecks with my ears, and I can't enjoy the video. And so one thing that's like a quick, it's just as soon as I hear it, I like it's got my attention and it aggravates me. And that's when somebody whiskey throttles a chainsaw. I call it whiskey throttle, and I think most do because when you're on like a dirt bike and you go to fall off of it, instead of letting the dirt bike go, you go to hold on and you actually whiskey throttle because you're drunk. So that's what they do with the chainsaw, and it sounds like it's gonna blow up. And his chainsaw, it just, maybe I didn't notice it before, but this last video, it drove me nuts. It literally drove me nuts. I couldn't enjoy it a lot of times. He would switch over to the back handle. Now I should know the names of these saws and the numbers because I just should. But they're Husqvarnas, and that's my excuse. Should I? I don't have to learn those, right? I don't think so. Yeah. But when he switched to the back handle, it didn't annoy me. Like I was like, it's still windy, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me though. Oh guys, I gotta get some sleep. Dano, right on, brother. Hey, thanks for swinging in, brother. Hey, guys, go check Dano's channel out. It's good stuff. I promise. What's up, Clint? How are you, brother? And it cuts out a lot. That chainsaw, it also cuts out a lot. It's almost like after it gets too hot, it has trouble keeping the idle. It like will cut out. It'll sound. It's idled high, like it's tuned, and it just will shut itself off repeatedly. I don't know if that's maybe he ran it low on gas. My saws will do that on occasion. That first time after you get it back and you go to run it, it doesn't want to run right, and then it takes a second to fill the lines and everything, and then all of a sudden, but yeah, it just I thought I'd point it out. I thought maybe I'm the only one that it gets annoyed by, but it drove me nuts, and I don't know what to do. I'll just turn the volume down or something, but have a good one, Dano. Get some sleep, brother. Also, in that video, he showed the synthetic cable. And that's something that anytime I've ever done anything with a cable, someone tells me, you should use synthetic, you should use synthetic. And, like, a lot of my stuff is country. You know, it's not, I don't live anywhere, I live in the country. So, squirrels will chew that stuff up. And I've always thought that, but that video there showed it. Those things were gnawed to nothing. So I'm not the biggest fan of the synthetic cabling. Maybe in certain areas they work for that area better. Maybe areas with like high moisture. Maybe that would be better the synthetic because the cabling would rust a little quicker. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I can run a chainsaw and I can climb a tree and that's about it. And yeah, that's about it. About it. So Buttsburg. What did Buttsburg man? Oh, I kind of. Oh, he was hidden already. Let's see. Oh man, Buttsburg. Dang it. You're kind of funny. Like, you can't say that anymore. I shouldn't even. I shouldn't laugh. Dang. See, because when I laugh, like, that's not good. I'm supposed to not say that stuff. Not supposed. That's not correct anymore. Don't do that. Yeah. I can't show that. That's not nice. Whatever. I'm disappointed, Buttsburg. We use Cobra cable systems. Never had any issues with it. Is Cobra is that synthetic stuff, isn't it? Right on, ground pounder. Okay, ground pounder can leave, and I'm still a nice guy. So when I'm a dick here in a little bit, at least there was a couple people that left with me thinking I was nice. All right, now let's do this. What did I see on YouTube this week? I thought about how I could do this, and I'm like, you shouldn't draw any attention, any negative attention to a channel. So I'm not going to. Well, I do have an exception, but I'm not. I don't want to do that. So I'll just say I'll be vague. I'll just be vague. And if you guys follow tree work and a lot of tree channels, maybe you'll know some of the stuff. I don't know. How you doing, James? Right on. He said about to hit us with that stuff. Right on, James. I'm not saying like, yeah, it is what it is. All right, here's what I seen. I seen videos. So I go searching through. I clicked on a video. Now, let me see if Jay. It's synthetic, yes. See, some people have really good luck with it. He just showed, and it was chewed. It was so chewed up. So I don't know. I haven't seen a long term use of it, but I've seen bolting long term so far. In my opinion, out of everything I've ever seen, bolting for some reason seems to be the best. Which heals the best, but with big one kind of Jay just did a video on it in a school. So yeah, like that, Jay. That seems to be the over the years what I've seen. It seems to be some of the oldest stuff healed up the best and holding completely solid is stuff like that. So we bolt and cable. Yeah. Yeah, bolts I like bolt a lot. So I think that's I just it I've seen it work. I've seen the results of it long term and really good. And plus it allows for as much growth as needed. Um, and I would even think synthetic, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to maybe open it or reset it. But bolting is something that, even if the tree grows around the washers, it's still got that inside of it. That's like having a pin put in your leg or something. So, and it doesn't cut the cambium layer off, so it just grows over the two bolts. So I've seen where bolting a tree will completely cover. So I don't think that could happen with synthetic. I think at one point it would fill that up, unless you made them really, really long. But I've seen a lot of people they're somewhat snug, and I would think if you're not adjusting on it, it would probably cut into it. I mean, if it's strong enough to hold the tree, I would think it's strong enough to cut into the cambium layer long term after it grows. Because I've seen a lot of, in my area, they just like, I've seen like people just figured out that you can put a cable around a tree. So then I see it everywhere. And when I was younger, and then as I've gotten older, I've seen the effects of what they've done. And there's so many of them that are so dangerous, like so dangerous. and they even put water hose on it to put a, something that would not cut into it, not be as abrasive. But I've seen ones where it's cut all the way into the water hose, but it's still living because the cambium climbed over the water hose and grew like that, so it never actually cut it off. So pretty crazy. Dan K, what's up, brother? Dinner table politics and religion. Right on. Hey, Billy's keeping the law. I wish I could switch it to just like a club, like a bat next to your name, so we can say if you just got Billy Club, and you can just time people out. There he is. What up, Greg? Peter leave? Dang, I missed it. See ya, brother. Get some rest. Jeez, that sucks to hear that. Like, just those kind of days they're rough. So glad Peter's okay. That is wild. Those kind of cuts are always gnarly. So, all right. So I seen on YouTube while I was just farting around looking for stuff. I seen unnecessary bore cuts on trees that were leaning the correct direction for the sake of making it more complicated for video. Maybe it was to see, maybe it was for practice. But the part, like, I would show stuff like that. I would say, well, I'm going to bore cut this one because I feel like I need some practice on it. That's cool. But the unauthentic, this tree is so dead or leans so this way or that way that I need to bore cut to be safe, is, I'm not the biggest fan. Feels very unauthentic, so I don't know. See, ground pounder. Have a good one, brother. He left 5 times already. Okay. After I seen that, I'm like, oh, and that was like at the beginning of the week, and I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be a rough week. Lucky for me, I didn't have a bunch of time to watch, because as I watched to catch up and come out here for this live feed, I was like, oh my god, I seen a climber admit in a video that he owns the proper equipment to do proper pruning, when a couple videos before we're supposed to think he didn't, and he doesn't know how. I don't know. I think that's one thing, like, you guys got to think when you're doing it, those guys that are making videos, everything is documented. So like, if you were a lame yesterday and you're just a flip-flopper, then that's going to rub people the wrong way. If you're a person that's like, I'm cool here, I'm cool here, I'm cool here, I'm cool, and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, that comes back to bite you. So, I don't know. I tried to remember that as I started to do things, because at times you'll learn a technique and think it's the best technique for that situation, when in reality it's maybe not. It's just you have yet to get to that technique that would solve that problem. What's up, Joe? How are you? Ground pounder, love you, brother. Stay safe. All right, so also some, and I can't say a whole lot because I feel like I at sometimes will kind of, I try not to, but it's easy to clickbait a title or clickbait a thumbnail. And I try to get away from that because I feel like tree guys especially are over that. Like, they're over it. But then I'll try to do like a normal just regular one, and it will get no views. And I'm like, what? So then I'll go over. I just don't think. I think YouTube thinks I'm lame, and so I kind of just get shoved to the side. I don't know. But like maybe you know what? I think I figured it out. Um, yeah, I figured it out. It's not YouTube. I suck at this. So if I was better at this, I would probably get more views. I feel like I just cracked the code right there, but you tell me. I've seen so many back-to-back job tree companies. I stopped watching a lot of the videos. Yeah, like sometimes it's like you have to spare the viewer. Um, and okay, I feel like there's two realms there because I've also kind of fell into that. I'm not getting tons of views and don't have a huge following. So what will happen is like I can overdo it and show stuff that's just not it's pointless. I'm just cutting. I can show that and almost run the viewer off, kind of annoy them because you made it seem like it was going to be something that it wasn't. And then at the same time, you want to keep content rolling in to keep them entertained. So it's like a give take thing there. I'm saying this is my opinion on things and nothing more. So like all these things that I'm complaining about doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means like I don't care for them all that much. But, you know, who's to say I'm right? I'm just a guy with an opinion. Um, what'd I say? Oh, the thumbnails, the videos. Then I watched a tree climber obviously take another tree guy's trick or technique. This was so very obvious. Like, dude, and this is not me. So at first I started to think like, do I get aggravated when I see that when it's stuff that I feel like I kind of showed or helped with and no, it's not at all. It's like when I know that, hey, I know where I learned that from, so I know where you learned that from, so why not give the credit? Then pass it off as if it's their trick, like something they just came up with, and they're about to like bestow some knowledge on you, when in all actuality they were like, oh yeah, that thing that I watched blah 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 do, I'm gonna do. But these idiots that are watching me, they don't know any better. So I'll just act like I made it up. That's what I feel like you're doing when you do stuff like that. And I try my best to not treat my viewers like idiots. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. But it was very 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 obvious. Also, I seen climbers beat limbs off of people's gutters for like minutes on end to then rig a couple branches and still hit the gutters. But like show it just because like they gotta show everything they do or something, or see, because a lot of times it's something that I'm like, well, I'm pretty stoked on that. Like that came out good, or I was lucky, or there's a lesson to be learned there. So many times in the videos, I try to have something like that, or I just try not to show it. There's a lot of things that aren't worth recording, in my opinion, but that's once again, that is my opinion. Which is the only thing I get views on. Yeah, Jay, I think shorts, what's cool about it is that's everybody. Like everyone's, you know, you have a much wider audience when you do a short. So a lot of times what you'll do is just use that to your advantage, make shorts, build your channel off of them, but you don't want to be the shorts guy. What you got going for you is you have a library of videos. This is the other thing where people are like, don't go viral until like you can choose to go viral. Maybe you can, maybe I'm an idiot and I'll never figure it out. But you can build a library of content, and then that's the best time to go viral is after you have that library, because then those viewers, after they subscribe to you, they're like, whoa, look at this, he's got tons of videos, I'm never gonna not be entertained. The problem is people don't even want to subscribe because they're like, all I gotta do is scroll down in my suggested and there's 50 new tree guys doing tree work every day. So Yank, what's up, brother? Me, Jay? No, I don't. I'm sure you know that I don't. Okay, so I seen that. What else did I see climbers do? Because after I run out of these few things, the problem is I just have one channel to talk about, and but I have like pages of stuff. It just never ends. It never ever ends, which I enjoy. Okay. I also okay yeah. All right. Well, I seen a climber try to teach a trick with a specialty tool. It didn't work at all. And he still played it off as if he meant to do it, like that it worked perfect. It didn't work at all, I'm telling you. This trick was supposed to he was supposed to bestow some knowledge on you. And John Bob, oh shoot, yeah, what up? What's up, John Bob? How are you, brother? Climbed every day this week except for Friday. Then done cooking for the year yesterday afternoon. Dang, brother, you're on it. That's awesome. So what was I talking about? Shoot, I don't even know sometimes. Sometimes I think I just talk to talk. Oh, so yeah, he's like, I'm about to show you this trick. This thing is amazing because it does this. Proceeds to move around in the tree. It does not do that. What he said it was going to. He has to. It doesn't work. And then he's still like, and that's why I wear it. Oh, I shouldn't even go. I'm trying to be vague. So like, some stuff is just silly. Some stuff is just silly. There's no need, and okay, this is what's funny is I'm gonna call it right now. That will be made into a YouTube short eventually. That little part, because you can edit out the part where it didn't work, and it's still going to be a trick tip. Like, that's. I had to come to the realization, like, it's when something's oversaturated, you kind of have to figure out a way to stand out a little bit. And I don't want to be an idiot. So, but at the same time, how do you be special in a line of work where most of the guys are special? Like, what do you do? That's about all I stumbled onto last week as far as YouTube stuff. This is about to get turtly. So, what do we got? 24 people? Yeah, and if you guys don't mind and you hit the thumb if you like any of this, or if I entertained you for a little bit, yeah. YouTube likes it, so I think I'm supposed to say it. I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I'm just not good at it. Did the China Chainsaw King get sent packing? No. No, he's still kinging it up, man. He's ruling the world right now. Cheers from South Georgia. What is going on, Trey? I had to quickly try to decipher right there, and I caught a name through all the numbers. I'm like, Trey, that works. Um, what is? It's Greg's birthday. What, dude? Happy birthday! Shit, I didn't know that. 65 and still the most mechanically inclined dude who does tree work and does things that I would have took forever to do and does them in minutes. Like a very efficient, smart feller. Dang, brother, happy birthday. I'm sorry. I should have known. Just do the reach around. Oh, yeah, I guess it's time, isn't it? Yeah. I thought that we weren't going to get anything. Again. Like I feel like he knows this, and I feel like on accident I'm like helping build his channel. Actually, no, it's not on accident. He owes me everything he's got. I feel like I made him what he is. So he should never get mad at me. And just know that this is all alleged. And that I don't mean anything personal, so don't get your feelings hurt. But some stuff just needs to be talked about, and some stuff is just stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You chose to jump in my lane. Like, I didn't come to, like, rivers and start fighting you for turtles. You know, you jumped into Chainsaw World and was like, I'm the king. And, like, you just need to chill a little bit and find your lane. Right now, he's driving like this. He eventually, you need to straighten out and just figure out your lane. Because he's just all over the place. Had a bad one Thursday. Under. Dang, dude. Dang. Damn, Yank. Do you make YouTube videos, Yank? You make any videos on that? I gotta check it out. And if you don't, you should. I feel like your name alone, you'd probably blow up and go viral. And plus, everybody seems to know you. Like, seem to be a pretty good human. And from what I hear, good things are supposed to happen to good people. I'm just still waiting. I've been climbing for 6 years for other companies. Finally invested in my own climbing gear. Dude, stoked for you. That's awesome. And have already sold $5,500 worth of work in 2 weeks. I'm on my way, my friend. Dude, congrats, brother. That is so awesome to hear. You got to invest in yourself. The world has forced everyone to become a bit selfish. But no, I think the best advice I give somebody who's starting, and you're not, it's not gonna, like, it's not your life. Like, yeah, I feel like some people know it's gonna be their life. Others, like, they're like, this is cool, I like this, and I think I can do something. I would say check yourself a few years before you start making huge investments in debt. A payment, an enormous amount of payments is not a good thing because things can go in waves with this kind of an occupation. So it's a hard thing to do annually. Like, so it's just a lot of guys look at it as seasonal completely. So that would be my advice. But dude, congrats! I'm stoked for you. That is so cool. Hey, we got a couple young guns in here at 65, getting her done still. Dude, I hope dude, if I'm getting around like you guys at 65, I'm gonna be so grateful. I'm telling you, and I'll look straight. I burnt the candle at both ends my whole life. My body is wrecked. I'm 40 years old, but I can say I've enjoyed my entire life. Like, I'm good. I know how I kind of treated my body. So, dude, it's just awesome to see you guys are still doing this stuff and having no issues, which is awesome. 45 high mileage here. Right on, John. There's a lot of good fellers here, Trey. A lot of knowledge here. That usually just kind of lingers around in here. Some of them don't leave a whole lot of comments, but I feel like there's a lot of really smart, really good tree guys. And when I do all this, like, this is a bit of humor. Like, I'm not being serious. Always. And I think that there's a bit of sarcasm, and people just need to know that. So, let's do this. I'm going to catch up on comments, and then we're going to go straight into wood and metal and switches and 5800s, Chinese factories. Right on, Yank. Yeah, I'd watch, dude. Get her done. Get ready to present. Okay, right on, Clint. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Damn, I got way behind on. I need to learn how to read, too. That would probably help during these live feeds. That's awesome. That's awesome, Trey. That makes it worth it, brother. 40. Ooh, dang, man, it gets cold. Where you at? Dang. So, it's like, I don't know. It's like a car crash that I can't look away from. So I flip. It's almost, and when I think of it, I relate it to that one channel on your TV that you didn't really like it, but you watched it for some reason. Yeah, I'm flipping to that channel, and let's see here. Chev, what's up, brother? Just been kicking ass too. Guy's been all over the place. He went up there with guilty of treason. Then I think, did you fly or walk to Australia? I think he walked and swam. So that was sick. Especially the whole ocean part. That was sick, dude. Yeah, so I click on his channel. And not Jeff's channel. I need to specify before I get into doing all this. How can I get your personal contact? I would like to connect if you don't mind. Email me. Here, I'll just tell you. BeaufBeckett@gmail. So that's B lowercase BeaufBeckett @gmail.com. Yeah, I forgot it. I had to say it back. I'm not the smartest guy. What's the topic, he says? Well, only the best chainsaws on the market. No. So, they are. We're going to talk pro grade products, and we're probably just going to learn a whole bunch. I can't do it anymore. I can't keep lying. Of useless information. This is going to be fun. So this week on I'm a Knucklehead YouTube channel, he He now says that he made the factory. Okay. So what happens? He flew over first. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. The start is always the hardest about this because I feel like some people don't know the whole story. So I have to give a quick prefix at the beginning and get into it without saying too much and babbling. So there's a plump feller who, during a natural disaster, hurricane, ended up getting his hands on some Chinese replica chainsaws. He loved them so much that he loved to take videos of himself using them from between his legs. Um, and he fixates and becomes aroused by um, switches. Um, yeah, delayed switch. I don't even know what he says, if I'm being honest. But okay, so he starts getting these replica chainsaws. He wants to start selling them. He thinks he has just cracked the code. He's about to tell you and everybody else and let you in on a little bit that you could buy these Chinese chainsaws for very cheap and turn around and find idiots that will buy them for much more. I had way too much faith in my fellow countrymen. We all here, like, he's not, I don't think he's shipping outside of the country. So, um, the fellers that are here, I'm like, even if you didn't grow up country at all and you've been in a big city, you still have a little bit of knowledge to you. Don't just trust somebody is telling you the truth. Well, that's not the case because there is some knuckleheads. Um, he's so fixated on these chainsaws, Jeff, that he decides this business idea is genius. He orders more and more. At one point, somebody gets their hands on a similar chainsaw of the same brand, opens it up and shows it on a video. And in that video, they showed that the quality is very, 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 very poor. He becomes very angry, says it's a big conspiracy where they stole his chainsaws. That is false information. And maybe, okay, worst case scenario, maybe somebody got their hands on his chainsaws, but all the guy did was open it up and show you the inside of the cylinder and the piston and stuff, and it was junk. So he didn't like make that up. I know a guy who knows a guy that knows another guy that has a replica of a Chinese replica. Dang, Giorgio, right on. I bet it runs sick. I bet it's the best. I saw someone else doing the nut start. Oh my god, dude! I hope it stops. I'm so okay. I'm gonna start there. So when I go into the stuff for this week. No, okay, no. Let me finish the story. He buys them. He found some people to, for some reason, buy them. They started to go out and they would come back very quick. They were trash. He starts a YouTube channel. He gives them to some tree service people who get to use them for free. They say, yeah, good saw. Of course, for the price they got them for, a very, very, very good saw. Unless the thing blows up in your face, you get it for free. It's awesome. Like, so that's how he starts all this. That's where he's getting everybody to like buy into this whole bit. And he gets enough of a following doing this and promising the world to people that he can get them the best chainsaws on the market for the best price. And he doesn't hit everything to him is this is a pro grade saw. He figures a way to word things. He's a car salesman at heart, I feel like. Very kind of scummy the way he weaves his way through stuff at times, but he may be a good guy. I don't really, really know. He could be 100% honest, but I feel like he doesn't have the knowledge to be trying to sell you on chainsaws. He doesn't know anything about chainsaws. So he flies to China to see the factories because some of the factories don't want to deal with him because he's trying to sue the YouTuber and a bunch of other people who have said his stuff isn't the best. So he's very angry about that. That anyone said that he's not the best. So now there's a lawsuit out there where he is suing one YouTuber particularly, and the rest is considered the chainsaw cult. The chainsaw cult would be anybody who says something he doesn't like. And he threatens people at all times that you can get put into the lawsuit also. That's his way of like scaring people off. He's a knucklehead. So let's pick it up from there. And he comes back from China after going there and trying to find a factory that will actually work with him. He does somehow find this factory. And there's a bunch of other stuff where he fakes a bunch of stuff where he says that the manager or the owner of the company gives him the rights to sue somebody in America on because they showed a bad review. So he's going through with his lawsuit, he says. It was rejected by the court, but so now he's running it like federal or something. Like, I don't know. The guy's, if he would let that go, I think a lot of his hate would go away. But this trying to like, I think his channel is bigger than the guy who reviewed his chainsaw now. So like, dude, be the bigger person and let it go. You know, if they don't like your stuff, they don't like your stuff. That's got to be okay with you. There's a reason YouTube there's a thumb button and there's a down thumb button. You don't have to like it. So when he comes back, he's now on this crusade that he's going to help everybody from the hurricane come buy chainsaws from him. He will give you the best deal on the market. Now let's pick it up from there. He says while he was in China, he made the factory start making 660s. Well, see, the problem with that is that it's not true. Allegedly. Because when he showed up in China, they had a 660 for him to run. Which means that they already built them saws. And they were already building them saws. He will find a way to lie and put himself at the top of something or the inventor of something to the point that he fixates on the littlest little things that he learns and just runs them into the ground. So now he's saying he basically invented the Chinese replica 660. So all those other companies that have been doing it for 30 years, you guys are about to get put into the cult. So just know that. FYI, he they would have to do everything to start building those 660s. So it's just funny for him to say something like that. But that was some of his new content that he's saying. You know, now he's the guy who got all these 660s over here. You guys need to buy them from him. You know, the pro grade chainsaw will last you. I'm pretty sure he tells people they only last a couple years. And he says that about all chainsaws are that way. Absolutely not true. There's a reason why your chainsaws are cheaper and the other one costs more. Some of it is you're buying the name and the brand, but a lot more of it is fit and finish, quality of assembled pieces, and quality control on assembly. So it's silly. The court cost will bankrupt him. I don't know. Like, maybe not. I'm about to give you some information here that he said that literally is one of the. This may contradict that a bit, Jay, because let me see where that's at. Maybe I'll jump to that because, Okay. He is saying, are you naming names or is it supposed to be general knowledge? Oh, Trey. Uh, there's a YouTube channel called Metal and Wood. You got to be nice when you're over there. Don't leave any mean comments because he gets very offended and he'll hide your comments for good. And he may be a good guy to get to know. Like, honestly, I just find him entertaining and I find some of the things he does to be a bit silly sometimes. So I'm just pointing them out. Um, I think it's very scummy to try to take advantage of people in this time where they need. So he's using this as he's about to get it figured out. Everyone's going to need one of his chainsaws for, he's saying his is the cheapest, best chainsaws around. And on the market, actually. He says that they are better than OEM, which is original, like Stihl and Husqvarna. Crazy thing to say, but it doesn't stop him from saying it. I guess he can say whatever he wants. Yeah, Trey. If you get a chance, check his channel. It's entertaining, and I think he probably can. You could get those chainsaws, but don't, Okay. Let me go through the whole thing before you make an opinion on him, and definitely before you buy anything. Let me just go through this, and this is just this week. We tend to do this on every week almost. So he is pushing. Okay, what would the brand be? Hanakawa Zanoa, I think. Old man, yeah, I am. Bu Blois. I am old man. If you're talking about me, um, but yeah, he's nuts. Like he's trying to take advantage of people right now, and I'm gonna tell you the difference. Is it? Nope. Holtz Pharma has more class. Yeah, and he gets different kinds. Like he gets different brands and stuff. That's where I think he can't. He tried to say that he's the brand ambassador for them, and for the first time ever, he put a price in the comment section. So now I know, and that made all the stuff that I was saying before made me feel so much better about that because I thought he was being like, if we're looking on a scummy level from not scummy to very scummy, I thought he was like here. He proved that he's like here. So I'm glad that I didn't like push it too much, but I have seen him with Holtz Pharma stuff and different kinds. So he's trying to sell. Oh my God, JC. Yeah, that's funny. So he claims he controls the whole factory, but like at the same time he'll turn around and be like, I've only sold 2 chainsaws. So you're telling me in China there is an entire factory that makes chainsaws solely for you, and they stay in business? That doesn't make sense to me. That don't make no sense to me. Like, it's hard to believe, right? I mean, or am I just being a hater? I could be just being a hater. I don't think I'm just a hater, but at times I feel that way. So he claims that Stihl chainsaws, when you use them, rattle the. Okay, no. Let me do it the right way. Every time he starts a chainsaw, every time he starts a saw, he, as he's running it, as soon as it starts running, it like falls apart. Like bolts come flying off of it, like covers start flopping off and shit. It is like nonstop. Then when people have bought them, their complaint is that things would rattle apart, things would come off. He seems to blame the user always of the product. And if you follow the live feed from last week, he was talking trash on one of the people who bought a saw from him because it was leaking oil. And it's because of the saw. The saw's not supposed to start pouring oil all over the place. But he said it's because the guy overfilled his oil. That's just how little of knowledge that the guy has. Is he's like, oh, it's the simplest thing, and he doesn't even have any more knowledge than that. Like, how do you why would a chainsaw leak oil? Put too much in? Like, come on, man. You can't. It's definitely not that stupid. I'm sure the guy would have not did it. So. Oklahoma. Yeah, definitely. It's got those handles. That's 100% JC. Yeah. So he claims that steel chainsaws also rattle apart when you use them. I have many of them. I've used many of them for many, many, many years. They don't rattle apart. If you forget to tighten something, it rattles off. If the fit and finish of a screw to bolt isn't correct, it will never hold right. It will rattle off. That's where your products are a bit inferior. The finish of everything, the preciseness of everything. Those saws can be good at times when you get them if you go over the whole chainsaw and tighten everything, recheck everything, because they're cutting corners in assembly, and that's how they're able to get the price down so low too, using inferior parts, and they're they're like messing, cutting some corners in assembly. That doesn't mean it's a bad product. You can use that product. It's just try it out. Like, go over everything, tighten everything down. Just give it a once over before you start to use it. So I don't like that he's trying to throw steel chainsaws under the bus because his chainsaw rattles apart. I don't think that's quite fair. But Nick, what's up, man? How are you, brother? You gonna get that tractor? Really? Yeah. Right on. Dude, it looks like a sick tractor. My father-in-law has the zero turn, and it's such a beast of a mower. Like, it is taking a beating and still runs perfect. So definitely good products so far that I've experienced. So, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Nick put a post of a what is that? Big dog tractor? Yeah, you could go with like a Bobcat or something. And you can switch from tires to tracks at times. That may be the ticket. Actually, check Meta Spencer. He bought a little dingo like that, and he had it shipped over. And he went through the whole process that he explained. The process he went through. I think he got it for a really affordable price, and he shipped it over from China. But he had to have it shipped in, and that was the tricky part. But he's he's got a couple different ones, and he's a guy that will find a good product. He's very, very intelligent. He'll find a good product at a good price. So you may check his channel, Nick, and look up some of his stuff on his little mini skids he's got. He's got a couple of them, and they seem to be pretty sweet. Yeah, we got a squad here usually, Nick. We every Saturday at about 8:30, because I'm always running late. It's supposed to be at like 8:15, and it's always like 8:30, 8:40 when I actually make it in here and we start. But oh, did some of you guys go to Bunyan? I looked into an excavator at Bunyan. That's awesome. Yeah, I have. When I was at when I was at the expo, I picked up pamphlets for everything. Like, so I have a bunch of different pamphlets. Actually, you know what's crazy is, since I was talking about it with right now with Nick, I think I have the pamphlet here of those little excavator that I was talking about. There's Bandit, stump grinders, chippers. There's so much crap here. I have the excavator one somewhere. I don't know. I'll find it and show it in one of these, but it's like an off-brand excavator for a really cheap price. So. What did Jake just say? Yeah, Bunyan always sneaks by without me knowing. I haven't had, since I do this every week and try to keep up and like shout out the new channels and stuff that are out there, I don't have time to watch like some of my old faithfuls like Bucking and stuff at times, which is a bummer, but I just got to have a little bit of time to the family and the wife and stuff, so I almost was like the girlfriend and the wife. And definitely need to get together, Nick. I had the pleasure of running into a few people at the expo, and that was really cool. I enjoyed that. Which is putting a bug in your ear about that. You out of here, Jay? Hey, thanks for hanging, brother. I appreciate you. Guys, go check out Jay's channel. Got all kinds of cool hot rods. And he's a damn good tree guy. So. Nick is so nice. Now, I can't do this, be mean. You know what? I'm not being mean. I'm razzing a little bit. So, that's all I'm doing. So, when he starts saying that steel chainsaws are just as bad as his and they rattle apart, that's crock. I don't like that. I got you, Jay. You the man. His chainsaws rattle apart because of the finish and stuff, the fitting of some of the parts. So he can't even like don't throw steel under the bus. You have yet to successfully start a steel chainsaw on video, so without help. So that's not cool. Don't do that. I don't like that. The fit is so bad that okay. So he has gotten to the point where he's telling people every time you put your bolts on for your clutch cover that you should use Loctite. I'm dead serious. I am not kidding. He says use Loctite when you put your clutch cover bolts on, and I don't think it's a good idea. I wouldn't do that unless you have a very crappy lug to bolt combination that you need Loctite because the fit is not correct. That is my opinion. That is just what I think about the whole thing. So, wonder if you ever got the 660 start. Yeah, and or the 036, wasn't it? Or no, 035. He tried to start one of them too and couldn't do it. Like, there's so many videos where he's like, all right, I'm going to show you how to start a blah, blah, blah. And then he'll go to start and it won't start. And the video ends and he still puts the video out where he unsuccessfully started something he said he was going to show you how to start. And so that's where the fun lies in it. Like, I feel like he does some of this stuff for our entertainment. I also I don't think he's as dumb as he comes off sometimes. So, we're just Man, because some of the stuff he says, I know he's lying. Like I know he's being dumb, and he's like trying to get people to hate on him. So I don't know what to think about it. At times I'm like, is he an idiot or a genius? Because he may be a genius, and I'm just not smart enough to comprehend. So here's super important information for anybody that wants to know anything and has a thought in the back of their mind where they would buy one of these replica chainsaws. Here it is. This is super important. We got 20 thumbs. Sweet. 15 people. All right. I just, on my page, in the community section, I put up a video or a picture and a link to a chainsaw from Timu that is a 5800 that a buddy of mine got. It's the Nation's Climber. That's another channel that I forgot that you could check out. The Nation's Climber, really good channel. This guy crawl out of that's awesome. Um, so you can buy them for $80 off Timu, and he's selling them for $350. So that maybe he's getting them for more than $80, but let's say he's getting them for double what other people who don't buy a bunch of them buy a single chainsaw. This guy bought one chainsaw, and he buys boxes of chainsaws, cases. Okay, so this guy who only bought a single chainsaw got it for $80, and we're talking about a 5800 chainsaw. This guy got it for the Nation's Climber, 5800. It ripped. $80. Wow, off Timu. On the other hand, over here, he has 5800. That sounds very weak. Probably has to do with the super rich fuel mix, or the saw's not tuned up all the way. That's where the corners are going to be cut in assembly and testing. So 350 for a 5800. That seems, in my opinion, this one over here that was $80. I've seen it being used, and it seemed to work better than this one. Solely my opinion. My opinion isn't the end all be all. It doesn't even mean I'm right. I may be wrong. I'm just saying you can get one for $80, or you can pay him $350 for one. Now, before accidentally leaving that comment for a second, guarantee he deletes it because he doesn't want anybody to know the actual price that he's selling these for, because he does come off as a bit dirty because of it. But he slipped, and I seen it, and I'm like, oh, okay. For the first time, he's actually put a comment with a price, so I'm not just talking out of my ass like I normally do. I've machined and imported a couple of $90 Pinkway saws. That's sick, dude. What's up, DJ? Damn, DJ, ain't seen you in a while. How are you, brother? So, in a video right before some of these this week, last week, the hurricanes had hit. He says he wants to help people out in their time of need. Get a hold of him. He will sell you chainsaws, and he has some of the best chainsaws in the world. He at that point shows a green and black or green and gray chainsaw and says, this is a Bugatti. Okay, like, okay, why is it a Bugatti? Because the colors to you are pretty? That doesn't justify it instantly becoming a sports car, like a supercar. But to him, maybe. I don't really know. So he has found a couple complete knuckleheads. And I feel bad for him. So his justification for selling a chainsaw at $350 that cost 80 is he has seen an Echo chainsaw that has everything's proper. They're forced to go through emissions standards for the EPA. They have huge factories. There's tons of testing. You are buying a bit of a name, and you're buying a more quality product. They sell 590 that he says is in comparison to his 5800s. The 590 from Echo cost $550. So he feels justified in charging $350 for his chainsaw, despite the fact that he got them for $80 or cheaper. Just my opinion from what I've seen. I don't find that to be helping anyone. I feel that is taking advantage of people in a time of need and being a bit dirty. But to each their own. Maybe some people, it may be worth it to some people to get that chainsaw very quick from him inside the States, where you would have to order that from over in China. And I think there could be a premium price that you pay for those um, because of availability and needing it that bad. So, I mean, that justifies a bit of a higher price. Uh, but that's a little wild to me. Maybe I'm wrong. A guy bought 24 farmer techs at Bunyan. Yeah, see? I was kind of floored. That's a bunch of saws at one time. Yeah, it's and the more you buy, the cheaper they get. I mean, when you start to hear, if he's buying a single chainsaw, he's paying $80 for it. And some of these bundle deals where they say you have to buy 20 saws or more, it's got to be much cheaper than $80 per saw. So you're probably getting them at like $40 a saw if you order 20 of them or something. Or who knows? It could, maybe it's not quite that cheap. Maybe it's even $60 per saw. And homeboy here is buying them in bulk. Says he basically runs the factory, so he should get the best deal, and needs to turn around and sell them to people during a hurricane and a life-altering storm for almost 5 times its actual cost. Sounds like a very humanitarian type of a guy. You know what I mean? You know, plant trees. He just wants you to cut. He butchers stuff like doesn't know anything. He's like, plant trees, but all he does is sell people devices that cut down trees. So he contradicts himself nonstop, and I've seen where people jump into things and they don't know everything, but they like it, and that's cool. If you find a lane where people are doing something that you really relate to and you think's cool, that's awesome. You can emulate like that. That's well, I'm sure those people are flattered when that happens, but you don't lie your way through it. That comes off as the scummy tree guy. That's like, yeah, it's okay for me to nub that off and just leave a log there. Your oak tree will come back. That kind of guy. So I'm not the biggest fan of the way he kind of conducts himself as far as, you know, I'm helping people. He says, I don't even want to make a profit. Turns around and says $350 to a guy who asked for a chainsaw when he is doing charity work, basically, in his eyes. Like, he's helping so much, he's only charging you 5 times, a little less than 5 times what it normally costs. So, I was kind of cool, okay. Some of the knockoff products, man, out there. Others don't. You can't be. You can't be. I think you always take that chance. But what you got going for you when you deal with like a Stihl product or Husqvarna is taking that product back, and there is a warranty on work. He's warrantying his chainsaws that don't have a warranty. So if you buy one from him and you've already bought it and you've overpaid like crazy, take advantage of making him fix everything that happens that goes wrong with it. He's the one that said he warranties his saws. He guarantees them for now. I just heard him say this will last you a lifetime. So he's went from being like a couple years of professional grade use at least. If Stihl told me that when I got a chainsaw, I wouldn't buy it. I have my dad's chainsaws that are almost as old as me that still run. So I think there's where you're going to get into a quality product and a inferior product. Not to say it's a bad product. It's just inferior to the other one. So you can't lie and say this product is as good, if not better, than this one. Because I went over there and I told them, hey, fix this. Hey, fix this. That don't make it better, man. Like, than the original. That makes your poor quality product a little better, though. And I think you should keep doing that. You should keep improving on your product. But I think it's a bit scummy. Your price range. I don't like it. I think you're taking advantage right now is when you should have been at least cheaper than 350. When you hit that guy with a 350 price, while you're saying that you don't even want to profit from this deal, you are not paying $350 for that chainsaw. So that tells me right there, you are making a profit. So let's stop playing people like they're dumb. You think if you talk fast enough, people won't catch the scummy lies. And that's just not the case. Like, some of us catch it. Probably over 100 clones. Quality is all over the place. I can't recommend them to anyone that don't like them. Yeah, don't like to tinker. 100%. I think you're gonna have to go over that product, and a lot of times you may be able to tighten up or button up or fix the one thing that would end up ruining that product. So that's what I say too. I think if you're gonna buy a product like that, you need to be a bit mechanically inclined when it comes to the product, so that you can go over it or be able to tinker with it, like John said. So, yeah. So, like I said, this Echo makes the 590. It's $550, so that he feels like he can justify charging people $350. All right. So now let's get to these where he takes a picture of himself or a video through his legs. I throw up in my mouth every time he does it, and this time I'm over it. I don't want to see another video from between your legs ever again. Please stop. I don't like it. I'll randomly scroll and all of a sudden I'm between his legs looking up at him from the worst view that you could ever look at a person like him. And just stop. Like, I don't want to see it no more. Because it is what he calls it. Okay, let's just do this. Let me catch a comment real quick. It's like saying PFF flyers are better than Zoom. Yeah, exactly, DJ. But I've wore some PF flyers, man, and they weren't bad shoes. You know, they weren't as good as a pair of Adidas. You know, so it's sometimes you are paying for the name somewhat, but most of the time you're paying for a quality product, because they would have never developed that name without it being a quality product. And that's years of producing a quality product to be able to get the name to pay for. So it all kind of works itself out. So I like reliable things. I want a product that I can trust and I can depend on. And I just don't ever think I could depend on a machine like that. So he takes these videos from between his legs and he stands up and he shows you his crotch. And I feel like he should get put on a list or something for this. I don't like it. I don't like it. I wish I could reach through the screen and punch him in the pecker. And but he calls them DHNSs. That's DHNS. And that stands for Dick Hacker nut shots. I'm trying my best to explain this, and it's still probably not going to make sense because none of it does. He shows these because he calls some dude Dick Hacker. And Dick Hacker also throws up and is disgusted with seeing videos from between his legs. I too don't like it. I just don't like it. Stop it. I don't want to see it no more. I should have never seen your inner thigh. Ever. I mean ever. And now the DHNS, the Dick Hacker Nutshot, has evolved. This is where I've got to put my foot down. I can't. It's got to stop. It's no longer a Dick Hacker Nutshot. It evolved into an RBUBS. And that's more than I can handle. It's a round clown underbelly shot. And I just RCUBS and R Cubs. So I'm scrolling, and all of a sudden, not only am I looking up towards his crotch, which I told you, I think I've said this, I don't like it. I don't like it, not even a little bit. Now I'm looking at his underbelly. Well, did that not hear? Did you guys hear that? My door just opened up. And did you hear somebody knocking on it? That was crazy. What? As he was opening, I swear I was so positive that I was going to see my wife standing there. And the light's not even on, the motion light. So, whoa. He just like ghost Dick Hacker showed up because I was talking bad about him. That was wild. Yeah, I don't like that. See? What the hell? I'm legit gonna watch this back and see if I can, like, it was a dun 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 dun, dun. Or like, it was like it was not like a unobvious knock. I heard the knocking. Then it was wild, man. I was 1,000% sure my wife was gonna be standing there, and there's no one. So I don't know if I should continue talking about Dick Hacker anymore because it's. Look, I'm going to get like a poltergeist or something over talking about not liking to see between a feller's legs. So yeah, it's now a round clown underbelly shot because I'm now seeing his underbelly and I don't. Stop it. Stop it. Like he had a button-up shirt on. So it was like all, it was all like sundressed out. And he put the phone down there, and man, I just don't like it. I don't like it, and I gotta watch the stuff to see what's funny, and then I gotta see that, and that's not, it's not cool. It's definitely not cool. I feel like you could put the camera somewhere else, and it would be better, especially in my opinion. He loves to start a chainsaw with the cover off. The reason for that is because it sounds like it actually has power when you don't have a chainsaw bar or even the clutch cover on it. It allows the clutch to run freely. So it'll make a difference if you were to go tune a chainsaw without the bar on it than it would be to tune it with the bar. So I feel like he only runs them without the bar because it's just easier to start. You don't have to deal with the bar weight, but that's what he always does. He starts it, shuts it off. Starts it, shuts it off. That's cool that a saw runs, that's it. That's very important, and I think that if you're gonna sell them, they definitely should do that. Um, but I also think you should show them that they work. Brandon, what's up, my guy? How are you? No, I you. We'll see, Nick. We'll see. They're just yeah. There's a difference between roasting a brother and somebody trying to take advantage of people in your clique. Like I instantly look at it as like he's trying to get one over on all my people. You know, come buy one of my chainsaws. I'm not a rich person. I have enough for me to get by. I don't have extras. I don't have the best of everything. Um, so I feel like other people, there's a lot of people that would probably relate to that, and a price point chainsaw would be very enticing to those people. So I just feel like he's trying to take advantage of people, and I don't like that. And then he just straight says some wild stuff. So, yeah, exactly, Chris. Like that's the thing. And okay, so he does that a lot. Um, I got a note that says, "Don't forget to talk about the underbelly." Oh, I didn't. I definitely didn't. I can't believe I felt like I needed to give myself a note about that. I don't think I've like it scarred me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So, uh, what did I? Okay, Saw sounds like it has appropriate power when he runs them without the bar on it. He puts the bar on it, and when he runs them, they sound very, very bogged down and very weak, not snappy like most chainsaws would. The chainsaw sounds really good without that bar. It's just spinning that clutch all fast and that sprocket, and it doesn't have to turn anything, so it can run so freely and without any effort. Put that bar on there where it's got to pull a chain, and that thing just it changes everything on it. So I think that's a big reason why he likes to run them without the clutch cover on it. Well, he likes to take the clutch cover off now because he used to every time he started them they would fall off. So he's gotten smart. He's like, I'm just going to take these bolts off, these nuts off, and this clutch cover because in the middle of me starting it here in a second, it's going to fall off. And I don't want to be embarrassed like I have 20 times before. But that's the reason I feel like the clutch covers get taken off now. But yeah, 100%, Nick. I'm very rich with good people and happiness, man. So that's 100% right. Open up the intake and the exhaust ports. Yeah. See, that's the other thing. Like he's trying to ship in these products that don't pass admission standards, so they can't be a name and a brand over here because they don't pass these standards. But he's now suing someone because he said that they ruined his chance to have that business. When I think technically that business isn't allowed to exist. I don't think you can do that. Um, but I could be wrong. There's little stores that pop up all over the place and they sell knockoff stuff. So maybe maybe I'm wrong. I don't really know. What else? Appropriate. Okay, till he puts a bar on it. Listen to this. Okay, Jay said earlier that this lawsuit was gonna bankrupt him, and I said no. There's something that, like, listen to what this dude said. If this is true, like this factory is gonna retire off this one knucklehead. This factory in China is gonna retire off him if this is true. So he needs to sell a chainsaw for $350 that actually only costs 80 or less to make money. But at the same time, he is now currently about to spend $1.5 million to get a working switch on his chainsaw. he's so obsessed with these momentary switches because like he don't know anything on a chainsaw, and he learned what that switch was because you got to turn it on to be able to use it. That's the first thing. And he learned like, oh, I like this switch that does the on, and but it goes back to off, like, and then you got to push it, or I don't even know what he's talking about. But he got fixated on that switch that he still obsesses over these switches. I'm just going off what he said. He's about to spend 1.5 million to get a switch that works. Now, I don't want to call anybody a liar, but I also don't feel like I should be able to. Let's shut this door again and see if somebody opens it here. I also don't want to be lied to. So, you guys can figure out which one that is. I don't know. I like the StihlBorn's. It seems like they have, of the knockoff brands, they are pretty up. Neotech seems like they have a pretty high quality knockoff product. So, my kid brother's got a little top handle Neotech, and it's a little ripper. I've never touched a Noker. Don't plan on it either. Yeah, that's what's funny. Is he just went over there and he asked this guy, and he made up. He needs to be able to sue everybody because that's what he likes to do. He likes to sue people for some reason. I don't much understand that. The problem is he's just an American who bought some chainsaws that are made in China. That's all that happened. The guy made a review of a brand that you say you basically own. So what he did is when he went over to China, he sat down with a random Chinaman, a young guy, very young guy. And there was a translator. And he says, will you ask him if I can have the rights to sue on behalf of Noker? And he says, when she said it in Chinese, he nodded his head. He says, and I am the ambassador for America, correct? He says, there you have it. Now I'm going to sue everybody. Oh my God. I'm just not that gullible. I'm just not that gullible. So I don't believe that Mr. Noker, the guy who makes all the chainsaws, is like a 20-year-old Chinaman. And I don't believe that they would give you... That would be like me going over to China and being like, okay, you guys make Nikes, okay? Whatever. Maybe I'm wrong about where they make Nikes. I feel like maybe I am, right? But and I go to just a person that works at Nike, and I'm like, can I have the rights to sue somebody on behalf of Nike? And he just goes, and I'm like, and I'm the ambassador. That doesn't give me the right to come over and sue for Nike now. It just doesn't work that way, man. I refuse to believe that the man who owns the name behind everything for that factory was just randomly working that day when you showed up and decided, this stranger, oh yes, stranger, I want to give you all rights to my company. It didn't happen. So that's just my opinion. Once again, everything I say is alleged, but yeah. Yeah, I've seen some good StihlBorn's, brother. I really have. You see, everybody gets sued. Yeah, I know. Like, I don't... You want to make it in the lawsuit? And he even said, okay, this... And now I just remember, because I can't... I'm telling you, his belly scarred me. I did not want to see it. He says, some of y'all don't believe I've been talking to lawyers, but some of y'all do. And he like... Dude, he thinks he's the coolest thing since sliced bread. He really tickles his fancy. He toots his own horn. Like, and I dig it. Like, I think that's cool. Like, you should be confident, but there's confident, and then there's somebody who just fibs to get what they want. So, um, I'm almost done being a hater. Probably a Chinese restaurant. And I'm telling you, dude, it probably was. It was. It was. He was probably at PF Chang's and was just chilling. Has one of them homeless cats be like, "Hey, can I sue Papa?" Um, he loves to start a chainsaw the bar. Okay, yeah, I'm about done. I think. He did find a few suckers to sell chainsaws to, and man, he's so proud of it. To where he's got to tell you about how he found these people, what they're gonna buy. He makes up a silly name for them because no one really wants their real name to be said because they're kind of a little embarrassed that they believe this dude's junk, and maybe not. I'm just kidding. And but no one wants their face on his channel. No one wants their name said. I think he actually said the guy's name on accident. He called him what was his name? Davy Montana or Danny Montana from Texas. Um, but now he changed it to Texas Danny or something like that because the guy probably called him and was like, dude, don't say my name. I'm embarrassed. So he's very proud of himself. So now he like tells you who's gonna buy stuff, who bought what, and anytime that happens, so that tells you how many saws he probably sells because he would make a video of every one if he could. The people don't want to be on camera. They want you to use a fake name for them, and he'll show you a video of the chainsaw running with a piece of paper and your name stuck to it. That's another little extra that you get with him that you don't get with Stihl. Stihl don't send you a video with your chainsaw running with a piece of paper with your name on it. So remember that when you go to Husqvarna or a Stihl shop. Nobody's sending you DMs like that. Is your name on it? Probably not. You get one from old Dinky Doo. He'll put your name on it. Um, he still don't know how to put on a bar and chain. He has like 3 or 4 shorts that he's like, all right, folks, I'm about to teach you how to put on a bar and chain for a da 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 Komatsu 6252. And he's like, what you got to do is you got to get this bar over the clutch, then you got to try to line up these holes right here, and but it ends up the video ends and he never gets the bar on, but he still uploads it. It's crazy to me. I don't understand it, but it's funny. What else? He's gonna spend 1.5 million. Yeah, that's all true. And then he says, here's the other sucker he found is Philip. Philip, he says, oh Philip, I got your saw here. Philip wants one of these Bugattis. Um, it's a Bugatti because it's green and gray, and pretty colors mean something important to some people. Like I don't, I don't care if it was like just turd brown. If it ran good, that's cool. I mean, you probably lose it out in the woods one day, but it's not the most appetizing color. But you want to eat off of it. But I don't understand this Bugatti thing where just because it's a different color. But um, he's got Bugatti sauce, and oh yeah, he says, "Hey Philip, I'm really sorry to hear about your situation, man. Philip lost his house to Hurricane Helene or Helen, and he's like, he talks for a second. He's like, I'm packing up your chainsaw, Philip. We're gonna get you taken care of, brother. About them logs on your house. Well, hang on here. You talked long enough. You told on yourself there for a second. Your story just changed. Is his house gone? Like, first he lost his house, like almost like your wallet. Like he was walking one day with his house and he set it down somewhere and it's gone. So It went from his house being gone to it's got some logs on it. I don't understand being stupid dramatic like that, like going overboard to let somebody know or pretend like you're doing this favor. Um, and I hope that you are doing some favors. I hope you're giving these people that are dealing with these hard times a good deal on a chainsaw. I'm not saying you don't deserve to make money on them. Make your money, man. I'm just razzing a little bit. I think some of this stuff's funny, and you got the right to do whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna talk about it, but that's it. But I usually start it and let it idle to break it in. The first tank of gas. It's went from high ride to wide open to shut off in 15 seconds. Yeah, yeah. Man. Um. Okay, here's this other thing. The way he's going to prove to you that he's got a quality product is you buy one, okay? He's going to give you an extra this part, this part, this part, this part, and this part. And to be nice, he's going to throw in this part and this part. So he says you get extra switches. I'm going to put a couple extra bar tensioners in there. I'm going to give you an extra starter essay, which is the recoil pull rope cover. That's one of them, like the delayed switch. He learned the word starter essay. No one else, I don't think I've ever heard anybody else call it that, but now I do because I want to be cool like him. So he gives you a new starter essay. He gives you new bar nuts. He gives you a few other things. I can't even remember what all it was. And there's a reason Stihl doesn't give you all that stuff. There's a reason Husqvarna doesn't give you all that stuff. Because it's not going to break instantly when you get it. And if it does, there's this little thing called a warranty of manufacturer defect, where they know they produce a quality product and you can take it back to them and they will fix it if it was a mistake of theirs. What you get with buying his saws is he will sell them to you. When an issue happens, he has helped a few, but it seems like a lot of them end up getting kind of the finger, and he basically says, "You're an idiot. You messed something up." Instead of just realizing that you're selling a product that is inferior. Bottom line, I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how many times you go over to that factory. I don't care how many parts you replace or switch up. You are going to make an inferior product. That just is what it is. So I don't feel like you're being honest when you sell the products, because you're saying these are pro grade, these will last you a lifetime, these are been put through the ringer, the 30 years. Nice saying 30 years experience. I don't even know where this stuff comes from. Usually tree guys, like after they've been in it a year or so. I have a YouTube short where I'm like talking to the camera about something, and then I pretend like I'm talking to my ground guy off camera. And I told the camera, I'm like, I got 20 years experience. And then after, like, I whisper and I'm talking to my ground guy, and I'm like, well, I really only got like 6 years, but my dad did it for 8. And hell, these idiots don't know any better, so 20 sounds better. I just feel like that's what people do. But now he just got 30 years experience in a week, which is crazy. But, you know, each own. I threw it in the car. That's crazy. When I bought my Stihl 201T and 150, the guy told me, have fun. I told him, as I walked out, don't threaten me with a good job. 100%, man. You know you're buying a product that if they have a hiccup, they have a problem, they have an off day, someone decided not to do their job to the fullest potential, and there's a faulty product, That's where they take care of you. That's where they have built that name, and they don't want to make it bad. I wish Homeboy all the luck in the world. Do your thing. Danny is that guy's name. But there's a reason he gives you 50,000 products with the saw, because they're gonna break, and he don't want you calling him back, so he's just gonna start giving you products because he doesn't want you calling him back, because it makes him look bad when he's got to take these saws back immediately and they find out they're trash immediately. So, but the other sucker was Danny Kentucky, yeah, Danny Kentucky, and he bought a 372 big bore, and on the video where his name was wrote on that fancy piece of paper I was telling you about, you gotta see it to believe it. It's a nice piece of paper, and it's got like a little bit of tape. The tape, here's the tape sticks it right to the chainsaw, and even while the chainsaw is doing the running thing, or his would be like, nah, 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 nah. But the paper just, but you see the name on it, and it says Danny Kentucky. So Danny bought himself a 372 big bore, and Old Metal Wood feller, he says that it sounds like the idle's way too high and needs to tune it down. So he is so worried about the stuff blowing up. I'm sure he's sending these out rich, and he's telling you to mix super rich. So I feel like the saws they probably have a little more ass to them that you could get out of them when you get them from him, because to his ear the saw was running too fast. Well, the reason that saw is running that fast is it is never meant to be ran without a bar. There is no reason to be using a chainsaw with no bar attached, no chain attached. What are you doing? Or there's attachments where you can turn it into a drill. There's attachments where you can turn it into a winch. You can even turn it into a stump grinder. You can turn your chainsaw into a stump grinder, where it's got a little wheel thing at the bottom. It's got these little legs. There's a billion different, but it turns and moves something, a gear or another sprocket. So, I mean, the reason it sounds high is because it's not running the product it's supposed to run. So he says he's going to have that one tuned down before he sends it out, which it's probably tuned correct for the first time, and he's going to goof it up and then send it to the guy, and the guy's going to be, well, the thing is, I hope the guy's a homeowner and he doesn't know any better, because I don't want him to hate something he bought, because I doubt you're going to get your money back. So I just hope most of these people are homeowners. I hope they're wealthy and they have the money to make a mistake like that. But yeah, and I don't want him to, if he likes selling chainsaws, I want him to be able to sell his chainsaws. I want him to keep making videos where he tells me he's going to do something, and before the video gets to the end, he messes up and he doesn't. I want him to randomly put a new product like a boat motor or a wrench or sockets, or I don't even know, he goes crazy. He's going to sell everything. He's a salesman. I don't want him to stop. I want him to stop taking that video from between his legs. I don't like that. I'm straight up. I don't like that at all. I think you're going to end up on a list, and you don't want to be on a list. You get your channel taken away. That's gross. That's just all I got to say about that. So, I reckon that probably ends another tree talk. Oh my god, that's no mix, regulated gas mix. Yep. It's premium. I try to, anytime I can. Premium gas, no ethanol, and I use steel mix. I've never had a saw burn up. So, I mean, I don't know. I run 32 to 1 Maxima 327 or 927. You're crazy, Joe. I mean, you're going to be on, I think you're going to be on the safe side if you're running 32 to 1. So, I mean, You're making sure that you're not going to run something too lean and score the piston or heat it up and lock it up or anything. So the steel fuel can has 93 octane rating. Yeah, I don't use the premix. Like I run 32. I don't use the steel. Like I have videos on that. I think that stuff's trash. The Moto Mix, I don't mess with that stuff. That stuff made all my chainsaws stop working one time. So I don't use the premix stuff. I just use the little pouches, the little bottles. I'm really kind of a bit pissy because I feel like they're trying to stop making the orange kind, and that's the kind I want because it changed the color of the gas. And the new stuff is like gold. It doesn't change the color of the gas, so it's not easy to look and be like, okay, that's straight gas. Oh, that's mixed gas. With the old steel mix, it was this one's blue, this one's clear. Very easy. Mixed gas, not mixed gas. So I feel like they could put a little bit of damn dye in it and it would help. But you're definitely going to burn up and go through more chainsaws if you can't tell the difference in your gas. So maybe that's a ploy they got going on. I don't know. Some people hate the gray bottle. I'm only not a fan of the gray bottle stuff because it doesn't change the color of the gas, and I'm not a fan of that. I wish it did. So I don't know what's farmer. They need the extra oil. Yeah, well, just still fuel. It's 93. Okay, guys. Hey, thank you so much again. I appreciate it. Hey, if I said anything about you, and you end up watching this later on, I'm just playing. Don't take it too serious. We're all just playing this weird little YouTube game. This is not real life. This is just us having fun on a Saturday. Because, I mean, I could be out drinking and partying and getting wild, but I'd rather just sit inside with some like-minded people and razz on some stuff that I seen. It's more fun. Keeps me out of trouble, too. So, and then randomly have a troll every once in a while come in and talk about how I look like I crawled out of a toilet, or I'm on drugs, or I'm a piece of trash, or vote for this person. It's always fun. But we always got Billy, who holds the law down. So you guys are the best. I'll catch you next week, alright? Stay safe. Don't do any nothing. Don't be doing nothing goofy. Because you're gonna end up on this. You don't want that. Someone tell him to stop taking those nut shot videos. I don't like it. Have a good rest of your weekend, guys, and have a safe work week. See you next.